degree of burns. So this is the topic. So firstly, the questions: what happens in the first degree of burns? The second question is, what is the third degree of burn? So the third question is, what exactly happens in the fourth degree of burn? So we'll find out the answers to these questions and learn in detail. So firstly, there is the first degree burn. So the first degree burn, the depth is nothing but towards the epidermis. Epidermis. So next, what is the color and the texture? The color and the texture. So color and the texture, it is nothing but it is red. Then what about it being blanchable? That is capillary refill. So it is blanchable. Next, what about pain? So pain, yes, there is presence of pain. It is painful. So the healing is about 5 to 10 days and there is no scar. Next, we move on to the second degree of burns. So second degree of burns are divided into two classes. So the first one is the superficial partial thickness. And the second one being the deep partial thickness. So now we are going to focus on the superficial partial thickness. So in case of the superficial partial thickness, so here it involves the epidermis as well as the superficial dermis. So what is the color and the texture? The color and the texture is, it is red as well as it is edematous plus it is blistered. Next, whether it is blanchable, and answer is yes. Next, is there pain? Yes, there is presence of pain. So what about the healing? The healing is, it takes about 10 to 14 days to heal and there is no or there can be minimal scar which is present. Next, we move on to the other part, that is the second degree of burn, and this will be with the deep partial thickness. So here there is involvement of the, in case of depth, there is the epidermis plus most of the dermis and also includes the most skin appendages that is destroyed. Next, what about the color and the texture? So if we look at the color and the texture, it is pale and mottled. So till now, till the second degree superficial, we saw it is red. In first degree and second degree, it was red and edematous as well as blistered. So here it is pale and mottled. And whether it is blanchable? So the answer here is no, it is not blanchable. What about pain? Is there pain? It is painful. And the pain, it occurs only on the pin prick. So what about the healing of the second degree deep partial thickness? So the healing is that it takes about 4 to 8 weeks, that is roughly 1 to 2 months, and there is often scarring. So there's often scarring as well as the contractures. Next, we move on to the third degree burns. So in case of the third degree burns, it involves the entire dermis along with the subcutaneous tissue. Then how is the appearance? It appears hard as well as it can be leathery. So whether it's blanchable, it is not blanchable. And what about pain? So is there pain? In case of third degree, there is no pain. And what about the healing? The healing is prolonged. So this is healing. So healing, if you see, it is prolonged and along with the scarring. So there is prolonged along with the scarring. There is also presence of the contractures. And also it requires the skin grafting. Next we move on to the fourth degree. So the fourth degree is nothing but it is also known as the full thickness. So what happens in the fourth degree? So here it involves the connective tissue. So it involves the connective tissue as well as the muscle and possibly the bone. So the appearance, it appears pale. It appears pale, dry as well as charred. And is it blanchable? Answer is no, it is not blanchable. So from the second degree, from the partial, deep partial thickness to the fourth degree, everything is not blanchable. So is there pain? In third degree, there was no pain. Similar to that, in fourth degree also, there is no pain. So what about the healing? The healing, it requires the skin graft. So healing requires skin grafting or even the amputation. Now to answer our questions, so what happens in the first degree burns? So first degree burns, it involves the epidermis. And what is the color and the texture? The color and the texture is red. And is it blanchable? And is it painful? The answer to both is yes, it is blanchable as well as yes, it is painful. So what about the healing? Healing takes about 5 to 10 days. And what about scar? There is no presence of scar. So next we move on to the third degree. So what happens in the third degree? Third degree is nothing but full thickness. That is, the entire dermis is involved along with the subcutaneous tissue. Then what is the color and the consistency? So the color, it's hard as well as it is leathery. So is it blanchable? Is it blanchable? Is it painful? The answer to both is no. Whereas the same for type 1 degree burn, it was yes. Next, we move on to how is the healing aspect of the third degree. So looking at the healing aspect, it is prolonged. It is prolonged. And there's presence of the scarring as well. It is prolonged along with the presence of scarring. And next is the contractures. So contractures, it requires the skin graft. Lastly, the question we asked was, what is the fourth degree burn? So fourth degree burn, it also involves the full thickness. And next is that it involves a connective tissue and the muscle, and it can also possibly involve the presence of the bone. So how does the appearance look? So the appearance is, it appears pale, it appears dry as well as the charred. So similar to the third degree, what about it being blanchable and painful? So the answer to both is no. It is not blanchable as well as it is not painful. So how do you heal this fourth degree burn? So the healing of the fourth degree burn, it requires a skin graft. So there's presence of skin graft which is required, as well as there is amputation which is required.